What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture, and today we are continuing to count down the top 100 key comics to invest in for under $100, guys. Today we are doing 90 through 81. If you haven't seen the first video, counting down 191, guys, go check that out. We did that video last week. Coming at you today with this video, and we are most likely going to count down the rest of these 2 videos a week at a time. So I'm really excited to get through the rest of these books. Before I get into it though, guys, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so and check out all the awesome links below, including how you can become a patron member of the channel via patreon.com at only $3.99 a month, where you get extra perks, exclusive Patreon only videos, early access, and automatic entry into all of my Patreon only contests. You can also check out the link to official Journals Comics merch below as well. And of course, check out our comic book canon YouTube link below and sub us up over there. We have a contest that we're announcing this week as well. So if you haven't seen that, go check us out, guys. All right, let's get into these books. This is how we're going to do this. If you're not familiar, we're counting these books down on the increase percentage-wise of value over the last 5 years. So as we get farther down the list, those books are going to have a larger increase in value. Isn't that exciting, right? So those are the big books that over the last 5 years have just boomed. All right, guys, let's get into it, starting with number 90. All right, guys, this right here, Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44. This is the first appearance of NIGHTWING. Really solid Bronze Age book, guys. I'm decently, surprised at how affordable this book still is. And remember, I'm going to say this again. I said in the last video, some of these books may be above that $100 mark in higher grade, but we're going to focus on the grades that you can get for that $100 or less, all right? Because you know me, I'm not all about 9.8s. There's awesome books out there that you can get in nice higher grades or even decent mid grades that are worth it, guys. But let's look at this one specifically. Current CGC 9.4 fair market value, $96, right under that $100 mark. In 2016, guys, this book was sitting at about a $91 fair market value in that same grade. That's only a 5% increase in value. Now, you got to remember too, guys, fair market value is a rough estimate of averages. Fair market value can really be skewed one day from the next. So you really got to keep that in mind. And also, over that 5-year span, it doesn't mean that the value of that book stayed the same over that 5-year span. It could have had ebb and flows throughout that time. Sitting at an average raw right now, you're looking at about $43. And I always like to explain average raw sale and what that means. It doesn't mean specific grade. It doesn't mean high grade or low grade. It's basically an average of every raw book that's been sold. You can have high grade outliers, you can have low grade outliers, but I look at it as you can find grades of this book raw for above 43, and you can find some below 43, and you just got to gauge it as you will, or as such, right? All right, guys, that was number 90, and now we are moving on to number 89. This is, I'm excited about this book. Daredevil, number 169. This is the second appearance of ELEKTRA, guys. I love second appearances. Now, even ELEKTRA's first appearance isn't extremely expensive. I mean, that's still decently affordable for a character like ELEKTRA. But I love second appearances when you can really get them for that affordable price. I always call them the next best things. So this book, sitting at a current CGC 9.6 fair market value of $90. 5 years ago, guys, 9.6 fair market value, $84. Only a 7% increase, but hey, still average raw sale, $30, guys. And I always like to take into consideration when you're looking at that average raw sale, is it a modern book? Is it a Silver Age book? How old is the book? Now, this is a Bronze Age book, so, I would look at that $30 as kind of being probably, maybe more of a higher mid-grade, because it's not super old, but it's still Bronze Age. If I was looking at a modern book and I saw an average sale, you're probably looking at more higher grade raw sales sitting closer to that average, but for here, you're probably looking at, I mean, a near mint raw of this book is probably going to be closer to being double that raw price that you see here, and that's just my estimate off the top of my head. Still a really awesome book to look out for, guys. I mean, if you could find a decent copy for that 30, maybe even $40 range, I think it's definitely worth it. All right, guys, moving on to 88. Talk about a modern book. This is Batman 655, the first appearance of Damian Wayne. Current CGC 9.6 fair market value, $85, guys. That is extremely, extremely affordable still. Up from $78 5 years ago. That's a 9% increase. Average raw on this one sitting at around $30. I think Damian Wayne has a lot of room for growth. Now, of course, this is a modern book. I don't see this book becoming worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars necessarily unless we really get some type of strong DCEU going and we see Damian Wayne's character just like really get into the hearts and souls of the fan base, right? But Damian Wayne is still a great character that is still, not a very old character. And I see this book slowly but surely increasing over time, regardless of any type of spec. All right, guys, we're going to move on to 87. Supernatural Thrillers number 5. This is the first appearance of the Living Mummy. The reason why I like this book and other books in this genre is because we know that the MCU was going the horror genre route. I mean, we're seeing it unfold right now with WandaVision, right? I think we might see some of it, tail over into Loki. And we know we got Blade coming, right? So I really think that there's a lot of speculation possibility on anything from the horror genre. I think they could do an awesome standalone film of the Living Mummy, and it'd be something really successful. Current CGC in a 7.5, guys, is right at that $100 mark. Again, and for, this is the earlier Bronze Age, $100 for this book. Solid, guys. Give or take, of course. 5 years ago, $90. It's up at about 11%. Not too bad. You can still find an average raw sale for $15. Now, you're probably going to get on the lower end of the mid-grades for that price range. But again, I mean, I recently picked this up, I think like last year sometime. And I don't think I paid, including shipping, I don't think I paid more than $15 for it. And it was a mid-grade, maybe, I don't know off the top of my head, but maybe right there around a 5.0 or something. But I was very happy with it. It presented well. So really awesome book that you could still find on the cheap. All right, guys. Next up, we got 86 on the list. My favorite superhero, Amazing Spider-Man. This is number 113. Another underrated villain, in my opinion. This is the first appearance of Hammerhead. Current CGC 9.0, guys, $100. And a 9.0 early 20-cent Bronze Age book. Wow. 5 years ago, sitting at around 90, 11% increase. Average raw sale, $30. For me, and again, I always say, don't take what I say to invest in or to buy at face value. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Take what I'm saying in as information. Do your own homework. And invest in collecting what you love. But for me, look, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. I love Marvel. I love Bronze Age stuff. This is a book. I have this book, but if this was a book that I didn't have, I would probably be really looking at this book right now, because we know one thing that we know about early Spider-Man books, especially Silver Age, regardless of speculation, they continue to increase in value, and I think that's going over into or seeping over into early Bronze Age stuff as well. But then you got Tom Holland's contract and the Sony MCU contract. And we know that we're going to be getting a Tom Holland Spider-Man film every other year, most likely for like the next 8 years or so. So I really, hey, we can see Hammerhead in a film. We know that the next trilogy is going to be more gritty at that street level. So I do think that we could see a lot more of that mob storyline and the mob characters like Hammerhead or Tombstone and whatnot. So I think this is a really awesome book to get if you can still get it for a decent price. All right, moving on, guys, to 85. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 1. Okay, what more can I say? The iconic beginning, some say, of the ending of the Bronze Age of comic books. they really give credit to the Crisis series, the miniseries, as being that moment in time that transitioned out of the Bronze Age and into the Copper Age. So this is a really affordable book. We'll look at the numbers right here. Current CGC 9.8, guys, $70. And again, like I said, rough estimate with these fair market values. 5 years ago, 63, only 11% increase. Average raw sale though, $8, guys. Look, if you can get this in a high grade for $20, I would do it all day, every day. I think that this series in general, again, I've said this before, we're in 2021, guys. This book was released almost 40 years ago. That's crazy. These books are getting older. And as time passes by and these books do age, I think these are going to be pivotal for what they did during that time period. So, if you could find this book for under $20 in high grade, I think that's an awesome steal. I do think this is a long-term investment right here. And you're not taking much risk because it's not breaking your pocketbook, right? All right, guys. We're keeping it going. Next up, we got 84. More Spider-Man goodness. Talk about just an iconic book, guys. Amazing Spider-Man number 36. This is volume 2. This was the September 11th tribute book with the black cover. What can I don't need to say anything about this book, guys. I mean, this goes beyond comic books. We know this. A day that, for those that lived it and that experienced it, we will never forget where we were. We will never forget that feeling and that emotion. I remember waking up and turning the TV on and I thought it was World War III. When living in the Bay Area, I thought like there was on the Bay Area news, they were thinking that they were going to come hit like the Golden Gate Bridge, or it was crazy, man. It was crazy. And I'm kind of getting, goosebumps talking about it right now. It's just a very sad day. I will say, I do remember, for a brief moment there, I felt like everyone in this country really united. That didn't last long. That didn't last long at all, but I hope I hope it doesn't take tragedy like that for us to get back to being united like that. But anyways, guys, back to the book. Current CGC in a 9.2. Fair market value, $99. 5 years ago, 9.2 fair market value, $88. 13% increase. Average raw sale. This average raw has definitely been getting up there. $57, guys. Again, this is that long-term investment, hands down, for a modern book. I know it's not like scarce, or rare in terms of print run or whatnot, but I do feel like these are ones that people collect and hold on to, right? All right, guys, let's move on. Next up, we got 83 on the list. Talk about WandaVision right now, guys. Giant size Avengers number 4, The Wedding of Vision and Scarlet Witch. There's a lot of speculation value on this book right now for obvious reasons. I do think there's a lot of these Bronze Age giant size books that are getting more popular and there's more demand around them in general. Current CGC 9.2 fair market value, right there at the $100 mark. 5 years ago, 85. See, okay, we're getting up there in these changes in values, guys. 18%, that's pretty solid. Average raw sale, $24. You got a square bound book that's Bronze Age that's definitely decently harder to find in those higher near mint grades. So expect this book to increase, I think, over the next few months. Now, whether that might cool off, I don't know. We just what I do know is we have a lot going on with these characters, and it's not going to stop soon. We know we got WandaVision for the next couple of months. Then we got into the Multiverse of Madness, which is going to possibly play more into this story arc, or just making these characters even more sought out by collectors, speculators, everyone that enjoys the hobby and enjoys the films as well. So look out for this book to keep increasing, in my humble opinion. All right, guys, next up, 82. All-Star Comics number 58. I can't believe how valuable this book still is. This is the first appearance of Power Girl, guys. Current CGC 7.0 fair market value, sitting around $85. 7.0. early, beautiful Bronze Age book. It's $85 in the 7.0. Not too shabby. 5 years ago, 70 bucks. It's a 21% increase change in value. Not too bad. Average raw sales sitting around 68. Look, I always say this about DC books. You don't need movie speculation to see books gain value, especially for that long term. And this is one of those that I think is a again, long-term investment. And you guys might see a theme here. I really try to focus on the long-term investment books. Even when there's books that have speculation value to them, I try to look at the fact that even if that's there, there's still a long-term return on investment possibility. I think that is this book all day long. Look, if DC ever gets their stuff together with Warner Brothers, DC has so many characters that could do so many things in live action. But all around, Power Girl is just, I think, an awesome character. And I think, again, as we push forward into the future, these early Bronze Age books are going to continue to increase in value, even if it's just like another 21% over the next 5 years, right? I mean, that's decent. All right, guys. Last book on the list today at 81. That's Tales of Suspense 94. All right, let me break this down, guys. This is why I have this book on the list. This book is definitely more than a $100 book in a lot of grades. You guys can see here. Let me just state, this is the first full appearance of MODOK. Current CGC 5.0 fair market value, guys. It's $103. So it's right there at that $100 mark. So you got 5.5s and up sitting at way, more than $100. You got high grade sitting at way over $100. This is my thing, though, guys. Even in that mid-grade range, this book is a book that I think has been overlooked for a while. I think this character has a lot of potential of growth in the comic books as well as in the movies. And there has been rumor and speculation that we might see MODOK in the MCU soon. And that's already drove this book up. So this is another one of those books where it's kind of like, I think you missed out on really getting it at a decently affordable price. But I don't think it's hit its ceiling because I do believe the spec around this with the MCU is real. And once that happens, I think this book is going to see substantial increases. So for me, let's look at average raw sale of $41, right? So if I could get like a, 5.0, 4.5, even a 4.0, around 50 bucks or less, I think that's a really solid investment. But again, if you like the character, if you want to take the risk and so forth. I'm actually trying to collect Tales of Suspense run because I have a full Volume 1 Captain America run, and that continues Tales of Suspense. I probably won't ever have a complete run because there's some really hefty keys early on in this run. But this is one book that I don't have that I'm keeping an eye out for. It's one that, like I said, if I can get it over the next couple of months at a decent price, I might pull a trigger. Because once we get official word that this character is in the MCU, I don't think this book is going to go crazy. But we know how it is with the MCU right now. The MCU drives things so much. There's so much power with the MCU because of the success behind it. So, all right, guys, that was today's countdown. 10 more books. We have 80 more books to go. I am crazy excited to keep doing this with you guys. Before I go, guys, I want to give a big, big thank you to all of my Patreon members. Reading them off by name: Comic Spunk, Jeff, Tricky Cookie, Philly Born, Alvin, Mickey, One Shot Comics, Frankie's, Fletch Comics, Joshua, Pedro, Hernani, Peter, Jason, Joe, Larissa, Sagi, Dan, Jamie, Beechner, and Simon. Again, as always, truly humbled and grateful for all of your guys' support. For anybody that hasn't checked out my Patreon page yet, the link is in the description below where you can click that. Check out the perks that you could get. See how you guys can help the channel for only $3.99 a month. You get entered into a Patreon-only contest, and I really appreciate all the continued support month after month. And guys, to everyone that watches my channel, regardless of supporting me via Patreon, thank you all so much. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and I will be doing a 5,000 subscriber contest announcement in the next coming couple of weeks or so. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here every day. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these books do you have? Which of these books are on your radar? And maybe there's some other books that you want to see here. Maybe they'll be lower in the list. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Be well. And until next time.